I'm Al Gurnov, and today we'll talk about one of the most tragic dates in modern history. We will discuss a documentary which is probably the most important film made so far on 9/11. It's called Zero, and Russian television is showing it in prime time on the eve of this week's 7th anniversary of the attacks in New York and Washington. Our guest in the studio today is the author of the documentary, one of Italy's most respected journalists, foreign correspondent for La Stampa for more than 20 years and member of the European Parliament, Giuletto Chiesa.
Member of the European Parliament, Giuletto Chiesa is one of Italy's most well-known journalists and politicians. He is also the founder of the satellite television network called No War. He's written many books mostly dedicated to the modern history of the USSR and Russia. His books have been translated in the US, UK, Portugal, China, Japan and Russia. A correspondent in Moscow for 20 years, he was also a fellow of the Wilson Center in Washington. He has worked for Rai News 24, the Il Manifesto newspaper and many other Italian and Russian newspapers and magazines. His recent documentary, Zero, Inquiry into September 11th, has caused many a raised eyebrow. It's a controversial film which questions the U.S. government's official version of the 9/11 terror attacks. Giuletto Chiesa is our guest in the studio today.
Hello, Mr. Chiesa, and welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being with us. Well, years have passed since the tragic events in New York City and Washington. And why did you decide to make this film? What was your goal? What did you want to achieve?
Well, first of all, I am a journalist, and I have to tell you that from the very beginning I was not at all convinced that the official version was credible. And that I began to work alone. After that, I understood that immediately after 9/11, the discussion has been closed. The version was very simple. It has been Osama bin Laden, 5 words, with 19 terrorists, Islamic. Well, watching the situation.
And you don't buy it?
No, never. From the very beginning it was clear. I was writing at that time a book which has been published in Italy with La Guerra Infinita, the Infinite War. And it was clear for me, after having read the project for the new American century, that they were preparing for a second attack after Afghanistan against Iraq. And I wrote that. And my editor told me, why you say that they will attack Iraq? I say, it is clear. They already provided this. It is in preparation. I was right. After some months, they attacked Iraq. And I understood that those who have organized this operation wanted to change, basically, the situation of the world. And to a certain extent, I had the impression that they were very well informed people. Very well informed. They knew that the American economic situation was worsening, and in fact the United States fall into recession at the very beginning of 2001, but we did not know about that. We knew that about only after 7 months, after 9/11. There was the Enron crisis. There was many signs that the situation of the indebtedness of the United States was very heavy, untenable. Well, I remember some articles of George Stiglitz. That means I had the impression that there were people very well prepared, very decisive, very well prepared to create a new situation, a new such kind of Pearl Harbor. They wrote that. It is a quotation from the document of the project. Well, and that means I began to study more attentively. And after that, a second question appeared. I was watching around myself, all my friends, all my journalists, all my colleagues, every of them believed in the official version, has never had even the idea to put under discussion this situation. And I organized some kind of discussion with more or less 100 of them.
And your film, is it the continuation of this discussion? Is the main thing, the main goal of your film to ask questions, or do you give any answers?
No.
Any conclusions?
No, well, the first work we made, I wanted to tell you very frankly, that it is not only my work, it is a group.
Well, of course, as any movie, yeah.
Yes, and there are wonderful people who have been working with me for a long time. Well, the idea from the very beginning was, we will put some question, and we produced, using the material of Internet, a very short, 20 minutes film, was named 7 Questions About 9/11, and showed this film to different people, not big audiences, 20, 15
like
people.
Private screenings.
Like I would like to measure the reaction, and well, I was speaking with the journalists, very well informed people. I honor. I believe that they are very honest people, but it was a surprise. Nobody of them, 6 years after the event, was aware of the problem. No, I don't say an answer. They were not aware, and for them, watching this material was a surprise. Even if they were people using Internet, but they did not know exactly where to find these things. I proposed them very simply to, and well, when I understood that nobody of them was informed, I said, well, if the best people I know, if the most important people I know don't know nothing about that, that it means we need to give information to the others.
Mr. Chiesa, so your film claims that there are a lot of contradictions. Some facts in the official version of the events even contradicts the basic laws of physics. Can you give some example, some of the most stunning